And I think it's a beautiful thing. And you're a great father, and your son is super blessed to have a dad who is, one, present. I think that's the biggest thing, is being present in his life, but you're also setting him up for success in the future. Welcome back to Ignyte Your Why podcast. I'm your host, Austin T. Gullett, and we're here to have genuine conversations with authentic people to help amplify their voice and figure out what ignites their why. Today's guest was born and raised in Covington, Kentucky. He's an alumnus of the one and only Holmes High School, and he recently became a father, and he has spent the last few years working as a realtor. I'm super excited to have this conversation because you guys know I love having people on from Covington. So let's give a warm welcome to Dustin Poe. Dustin, how are you doing today?
Good. How's it going, man? How's it going?
Man, it's been a week. But I feel like it's been I feel like I've been saying that for the last 4 weeks. Life has been so freaking crazy. Excited to be back recording. Kind of glad that I had a week off last week to kind of just decompress, because there's just been so much going on in my life that it's okay to pause.
Yeah, man, definitely happens. I have to do the same stuff in real estate, man. You have to take a step back and, realize the things that that's going for you and things that aren't going for you. So you have to note it all up and make sure you're dishing out all the stuff that's not there and that's not working for you. So 100%. Definitely good to do that.
And I think it's hard to give 100% of yourself when you're not taking care of yourself. And
exactly. You're more worried about everybody else. You're not looking at yourself in the mirror. So
100%. It's easy to get lost in the sauce.
Oh, for sure. That's what happens to me all the time, man. That happens to me all the time, buddy, for sure. Happens to me all the time.
It's crazy how life works, but I just want to hop straight into this, man. So what is your story?
So I was born and raised in Covington, right there on Madison Avenue, the main street down there in Covington. You know what I mean? About 5 minutes away from Holmes. So being there and was a blessing to be. You know what I mean? The opportunity and getting able to see all the different ethnicities and backgrounds and everything like that. I mean, me and you grew up a block apart from each other. You know what I mean? So knowing you all my life and everything was a blessing. Also, being able to be there for your brother and your parents and everything was super awesome. But we've seen the same things over and over again, especially being close to Latonia. A lot of them people down there are definitely different than people in Covington, which is super crazy because everybody always says it's like everybody says it's a train track difference. You know what I mean? Because like you got the 2 underpasses that leads to Covington. So everybody always said that, and it was funny. So, but the 2 different cities is definitely special, being like that. So, but I grew up, as you know, playing sports, everything like that. I had a twin brother, who was a minute apart. I'm only a minute older. Grew up with my mom and my grandma, and no dad. Didn't have a dad growing up, so I relied on all my other friends' dads. So your dad definitely would always talk to him and hung out with you guys and everything like that. Tommy Courtney, his dad, was really special to me and still is to this day. Don Catchin Funeral Homes, my first ever baseball coach. Still to this day, I call him Pops. He's definitely one of my role models who I always wanted to be like and look up to. Definitely a very special person to me, in a father figure way. But being like who I was and everything growing up, being a competitor and everything, always wanted to compete, always wanted to be number one. I was a winner. That's how I was. That's how I still am. I'm a winner. You know what I mean? You. So I'm trying to win at life. You know what I mean? And man, does inflation not help with that?
Trust me, I'm right there with you. It's just like I can barely afford milk.
Man, when they started raising egg prices, I started getting scared. I was like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? So
right, let me get some chickens and make my own eggs.
Yeah. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people are doing that. And but it's definitely got me to be where I am today as a competitor and as wanting to win all the time and everything like that. So doing like, I don't know, getting into all the different sports and stuff like that. definitely shape shifted the way that I think going on in life and everything. Hanging out with like older people and things definitely help you, not make mistakes too often because they obviously probably did it or seen people that did it. And as a younger teenager and hanging out with older people, being able to, realize what not to do and what's the right thing to do and everything like that definitely gets you to be where you are and everything like that.
That's the thing. When you're young and you're exposed to things, you're just like, oh shit. Because I remember,
like, what's this?
I remember when I first started playing baseball for Holmes. It was my 7th grade year, and I literally I felt so out of place. I was like, I quit. Because like I was so young, and then like they're like you guys were talking about things that like I didn't even know what you were talking about, so I was just like, I feel so out of place. Because like I'm in middle school, y'all are in the high school, so it's a little bit different.
We did have some middle schoolers on the team. It was crazy. It's crazy how baseball was at Holmes, man. Like you definitely we had like 13, 14 kids. That's it. Like the football and basketball team, they're loaded, but the baseball team, man, that was a struggle. That was a total struggle.
It's always been that way. I feel like it's still the same way. It's just baseball is like one of those sports where it's either you like it or you don't.
Yeah, it used to be funny. It used to be funny during winter when we'd all baseball practices right there next to the gym and the basketball court, and the football players would come in there and try to hit off of us. Me and Tommy would always light them up in the batter's cage. That was always fun.
Hitting's probably one of the hardest things, and I sit here and I think back to high school, and I wear glasses now. I just don't wear them often. I'm like, damn, if I would have had glasses in high school or even contacts, how much better could I have seen this ball? Because everything was always blurry to me, and I kind of was just like squinting to see stuff.
Definitely.
But it's crazy. No, I do have a few questions for you because I'm kind of curious about this. Growing up with a twin brother, what is that like? Because I know a lot of people, when they think of twins, they're like, "Oh, that is so cool." But I know there's pros and cons. I got a total different story. Yeah, I know there's pros and cons to it. So, what was that like for you, man?
Man, like I mean, like I was an active kid. You know what I mean? I was always outside. I was always going to go play manhunt, running around the city, everything like that. Derek, man, he was a stay inside kid. You know what I mean? Derek just wanted to stay inside and play video games all day. Don't want to, like shed like, too much light on it, but like he never wanted to come out and do anything. I was always outside. He had his own little friends that he hung out with and everything, but like me, I was always gone hanging out with my friends and everything like that. So when it came to like our birthdays and stuff, we'd share stuff, we'd share a bunch of things. My mom would like buy us stuff and be like, this is for both of you. This is for both of you. You know what I mean? Like, so like when it came to stuff like that, like we'd have to share everything. Growing up and stuff, with him wasn't a big deal at all. You know what I mean? Like I did my own thing. That's why I was saying like, that's why I say like two totally different story than everybody else, probably what they think. But like we for real never like hung out, and it sucks to say that. But we never like did anything for real. We've hung out more now that we're out of school and stuff than we have ever before. So
I think that's how life works, though, because me and Aaron were the same way. Aaron and I didn't really I wouldn't say we didn't get along. We fought a lot growing up, but I think now that like we're older, we appreciate each other a lot more. So it's definitely different because I'm closer to my brother now than I ever have been. If that makes sense.
Yeah, he loves being an uncle. He always comes around and always plays with my son and everything like that. So he loves doing that. I always ask him like, when you gonna pop one out? And he's like, no, he's like, Raiden's good enough for me. So
hey, I feel him. Kids are expensive, and living in today's world, like you said, inflation. No, thank you. I'm hard pass.
Man, it's hard. It's definitely hard. Like, it's
I spent $60 on dog food. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy, especially me and his mom are split up and stuff. So that split time definitely sucks. So, but
I can only imagine. But you're killing it though, and I think that's the thing. Is
Appreciate it.
Kind of brings me to my next question. You said growing up you didn't really have a father, and I've had other dads on this podcast in the past, and they also didn't have a dad figure growing up. So it kind of makes you as a father want to step up and be something that you didn't have. But my question kind of for you is just, what was that truly like for you growing up? Did you always find yourself kind of searching for like validation? Is that like kind of why you hung out with your friends and looked up to their dads a lot more? Is because it's just something you always kind of wanted?
No, not at all. I don't know why, but I just never
Yeah.
cared. I never cared who he was, never asked, never looked, never found, never wanted to see a picture, never wanted to do anything. I know a lot of people bring it up and they're like, oh, sore subject. And I'm just like, I mean, no, it's really not. You know what I mean? I never cared, but not having that there, it's possible that could be a reason why I like hung out with friends with dads more, maybe, but I never like looked into it at that point. I didn't like just not till just now. Honestly, I didn't even. I never even thought about that. But it's possible that could be a reason. But like I looked up to people that I looked up to in that type of sense. I looked up to at professional athletes, a lot and things like that. So doing that and I think probably filled the void maybe. But it really didn't bother me, honestly, but it did help me with never wanting to be away from my child. It definitely helps with not ever in a million years anything happen to my kid and be gone from him and anything like that. I mean, being a dad's awesome. It's great. You know what I mean? It's definitely the funnest thing ever. Especially when like you're just sitting there playing with him and things like that, and he just says something that's like off the wall, like you never heard him say it before, and you're like where did you learn that? You know what I mean? He's remembering stuff. He's singing songs now. He's putting songs together. He's Sunflower by Post Malone and Sway Lee's his favorite song, the Spider-Man song. That's his favorite song. He's definitely, it's awesome watching him grow and things like that, and especially since he's my little twin. If you follow me on Facebook and if you've seen the photos, you definitely be able to tell
It's a mini me.
He is my mini me. It's hilarious. My mom says it all the time. She's always like, I'm just raising you over again. And I was like, well, I mean, I hope it's a good thing because he's mean sometimes. So, but
that's the beautiful thing of life.
Yeah, definitely not having a father growing up. I had my grandma and my mom. They did, everything they could and everything that they did to raise me and my brother respectfully and everything like that. And I think they did a great job. I never needed a dad to do that for me. And possibly going around other people's dads got like maybe made me get a competitiveness in me, I guess. Maybe because of that. I don't know. But I've always had a competitor. I've always was a competitor and things like that and always wanted to be a winner. So maybe that filled the void too. I never thought about it till you just asked me that, honestly. So
that's why we're here. We're asking thought-provoking questions.
So I like it. You know what I mean? Just trying to figure out what filled the void. But honestly, like I said, I don't care. it's the bluntness of it.
Hey, I mean, that's the mindset to have, because I feel like sometimes people can get so caught up on things that they didn't have. And you're sitting here looking at life completely differently. Like, you were blessed and fortunate to have an amazing mom and amazing grandmother, and they definitely did everything they could for you and your brother growing up, and it was very evident, very obvious, and they're amazing people. So shout out to them.
For sure.
Now I want to go into this sports aspect, because I feel sports played such a huge role in my life, and I know they did for you. And I always ask every athlete that I've ever had on this podcast is, what was life like for you without sports? Right? Because once we graduate, it's kind of like we will go from playing all the time, and yes, you can play pickup and things of that nature. But how did you find yourself within a new identity? Because I felt like I identified with sports. So like, did you go through that process of trying to be like, okay, like I don't have this anymore, so like, who the fuck am I? Kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really transition into that because as soon as we graduated high school, I didn't go to college for ball or anything like that, which sucks. I really wanted to. But I got into an amateur baseball league. Me and a bunch of guys that we used to play ball with, and some Ludlow guys, and I think some Taylor Mill guys. We all made a little amateur team, and we played in this amateur baseball league, and we played in that, I think, for 2 years. And that was really fun. That was a really good way to not, get get it off season. You know what I mean? But then that stopped and we started playing competitive softball. So I never really stopped. You know. And then once I got done playing competitive softball, I started golfing. So I still have it. I still have all the sports stuff there. But once I think once I got to the year of like not wanting to play competitive softball anymore was 3 years ago when my son was born. Once my son was born, I could give a rat's ass about any type of sport or anything that's going to take me away from my time with him. So that was probably like everything like lined up so perfectly to where I don't think that my sports void really kicked into me, you know, never playing a sport again. High school, definitely graduating high school and everything. It definitely hurt our last game, senior night and everything like that. And then our very last game of the season, that definitely was tough walking away from it. And I think that's why we pushed so hard to get into an amateur league. Like we were calling all kinds of people like, hey, is this the thing? Is this a thing? Is this a thing? We have fundraisers so we can get jerseys and stuff for it. Cause we're adults, you know, we're 18 now, we're adults having to pay for our own stuff. So we definitely kicked in gear to do that. So I guess we never wanted to feel that sadness in us. You know what I mean? But but it definitely, I miss it. I definitely miss it for sure. Sports definitely help though with your way of life. You know, it does with anybody. If you're a competitive athlete, it helps you in life. Like that's all. Like every little boy should get into playing sports. Every girl should get into playing sports because that competitiveness, the having the discipline on I want to do better at this, or you know, or dang, he's way better than me and I want to be better than him, you know, and having that drive, you know, it really helps. I really think it'll help a lot of people. And I don't want to, you know, sit here and call people out, but I'm not calling no names. But if you grow up and you're soft and things like that, I think there's a reason because you didn't play sports. You know what I mean? So
hey, sports, I feel like sports is just a beautiful thing. And
it is. It really is.
I played my whole life. I coach now. And I think it's more than sports for me because I think sports teach so many lessons. And I had this conversation with other people before, but it's like you learn how to work with people you don't necessarily want to work with. You learn how to work as a team because you can't do everything yourself. But it also teaches you to show up every single day because you're having other people rely on you.
The discipline in it. Yeah.
Because for me, I tell kids all the time, like when I'm coaching them, it's like, this generation is different. Like they are different. I hate to lose. But it's like when I'm coaching these kids at homes, they just don't care if they win or lose. And it's so weird to me because it's like they care about certain games, if that makes sense. But it's like every other game, it's just, I always wanted to win and I always wanted to be the best. And I told them, I was like, I can't want this more than you. You have to find it within yourself to fight and want to become better every single day. And I'm very blunt with them because a lot of them are like, I want to play in college. And I'm like, you want to play in college, but you don't put in the work to get to that level because you're not just going to get there overnight. You have to show up to practice. You have to give 110% at practice because I have the philosophy that every practice is a tryout. Just because you come to practice doesn't mean you're going to play. Because if you're half-assing it in practice, guess what? You're going to half-ass it in a game. And those tendencies all translate in life. Because if you're half-assing this, what makes you think you're not going to half-ass your job? So it's like teaching life lessons along the way because they sit here and try to do so many different things. And I'm like, dude, like if you had a job, like, and this was your job, you would be fired right now. Like, this is like not how this works. You can't just talk to your boss however you want. You can't just pick and choose when you want to show up. It's either you show up every single day and you give 110%, or this might not be for you. That's just, that's just how it works. And I think that's what I learned from sports. And that's kind of what I try to teach my boys is life is not easy. You're going to have to work for what you want. And you already have a target simply on you because of the name that's across your chest, which is Holmes. Yeah. And I tell them that all the time. You're going to have to work harder. You got to want it. And it's unfair sometimes, but I think that's what teaches a lot of character.
Yeah. hell, we'd go into games being like, oh, we're going to beat this team, such and such teams. I'm not going to name no teams, but you know who I'm talking about. But, you'd be like, we're going to go in here, we're going to beat them. And then we end up struggling to beat them. Or if not, we get beat. And it's like, what? It's like, why did we do that to ourselves? It's like, because you just go in there with that mindset of, oh, I got this in a bag. When they're definitely trying harder than you are, because they know that they're the underdog. They know that they're the people that are going to that are supposed to get beat. We're supposed to get beat today. So let's not make that happen. And I think that a lot of people go in life like that. Like, I'm not supposed to get beat. And then you go out into the real world and you do get beat. You do get, you get beat by life. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, I'm not trying to get beat by life, but hell, I am getting beat by life. You know what I mean? So, definitely with like the interest rates and everything, I can't do shit about it, but I'm getting beat by it. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm still, I got to work even harder to get my business and everything like that, just with everything, the way that the government works and things like that. So,
I mean, they always say it's not about how many times you get knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up and keep fighting.
Yes, sir. And that's what I'm doing. I'm getting up every time.
Take the punches and roll with them, because
gotta cry a little bit, but it's okay. It's okay.
I'm telling you, I have the L's. We take L's in life, but the L's we take are lessons. They're not losses. Yeah. I think that's the biggest thing is we have to remember.
And you're gonna take more than you are wins, and that's why they're called lessons, because you have more lessons than you do wins. Right. But the wins are gonna come out bigger than the lessons. So
right. And if you're not trying, you're not learning. Right?
No, not at all.
You're gonna fail in the process. Yeah. No one gets things right the first time.
Yeah.
Hell, like in baseball, they say if you hit the ball 3 out of 10 times, that's successful. Like,
and it don't sound successful, does it?
Right. But that's the difficulty. Like, things in life aren't easy. They're not gonna be handed to you, and you got to put in the work. And
that's the thing with like sports these days. Though I've been hearing about everybody talk about these handout awards and things like that to even losers, and it's just like, what is that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't give out trophy awards. You don't just win to win. You know what I mean? You have to be the winner to win.
Participation award.
Exactly.
What the fuck is this? I got 5th place.
It's trash.
Take it back.
I don't even want to see an award. Why'd you waste your money on that? You know what I mean?
If you ain't first, you're last. I can understand maybe like a runner-up trophy, but other than that, like,
there's always a runner-up trophy, but I don't want nothing past 2nd place. You know what I mean?
Nah, keep it.
Exactly.
Save your money.
Yeah, you should never even bought that. What are you doing?
wasting your like. And that's the thing is they want kids to. They don't want to hurt their feelings, and in reality,
crazy. It's so crazy.
Why are you trying to protect? Like, that's what
you gotta hurt the kids' feelings. You got to.
How are they gonna learn? Like,
exactly.
You're telling me, like, that's why Bobby thinks he's the greatest when he's not, because you're sitting here telling him he's doing great when in reality he could be doing a lot better. But you're praising his mediocreness.
Yeah, and you're gonna stop him from doing like some type of business. He's gonna go be a car salesman. He's gonna suck at selling cars, but Fred told him all of his life he's going to be great his whole life, and he goes and sucks. And he's going to go cry. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to
do? Tough love is necessary sometimes.
And you have to. I'm not telling you to beat the hell out of your kid. I'm just telling you, give him some stern discipline. Stern discipline is what's going to get the game. What's going to do it?
You would be so surprised. I think coaching in this generation, I've learned that a lot of parents just believe that their kid is an angel and they can't do any wrong, and it's definitely interesting. But hey,
like, how do you think it was for my mom? I was on varsity and Derek was on JV. How do you think it was for her? She can't help that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's life.
Exactly. She wasn't mad about it, but she was at my games.
I was like, she probably was pissed she had to go to 2 games. That would be my thing. I'd be like, I'm pissed I gotta go to 2 games. And I'd be like, you better step it up and get on your brother's level.
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, that's funny. So I kind of want to lead into this next segment here, which is kind of like the chunk of the entire podcast is what is it that truly inspires you? But most importantly, what is it that ignites your why?
What ignites my why is definitely going to be my son. He is my number one priority. I definitely, growing up in Covington and everything like that, finances were never always a thing. That's great, and that's my biggest thing is financial freedom. That's a big driver for me. Definitely want to have steady finances to where like I don't have to worry about nothing. After like 50, after like I'm 50 years old, I want everything to be crystal clear. I'm going to work my ass off until then, and I'm going to make sure that he doesn't have nothing to worry about either. I plan on getting my capital up to where I could do like rental properties and things like that, to where I can leave things for him and have things for him. I have several accounts already that I have money building up in it for him and everything like that. So everything's for him, man. It's all it is. If and I don't even know. I want to think of somebody else who it could be for. I mean, there's not anybody else.
It's crazy what fatherhood does. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely. Once he was born, man, it was a wrap. Once he was born, everything was focused on him, and it definitely like jump started me into like doing a lot better for myself and everything like that, to my career and everything like that. Because I was just working in warehousing for the last 7 years before I started in real estate. But I've always been a talkative person. I'm an extrovert person. I'm always talking to people and making friends and everything like that. So I have no problem doing anything like that. And then listening to podcasts and listening to this, talking to several realtors and everything like that. I've always wanted to own a business and things. So I feel like it's a good fit. And it hasn't been terrible for me for the last couple of years, but I want it to get better. And it's going to get better in my eyes. So I'm not going to let that stop me with how everything is right now. But having him definitely inspired me and motivated me to get to the financial freedom and get him set up to where he didn't have to grow up like I did, with having to, sell candy at school to make some money. You know what I mean?
Hey, we would sell Airheads.
Airheads, man. The Airheads would fly off the shelves, boy. Airheads and Stride bubblegum.
The blue ones, the blue Airheads, especially.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted blue Airheads.
Yeah. But for him to grow up and not have to worry about anything, especially when he turns 18. And I'm not going to kick him out or anything like that. But if he wants, he can go live at one of the rental properties and, and just rent to me and things like that, to where I'm not, doing what all these other rental companies are doing, which is gouging prices. It's insane.
Trust me. My rent for my apartment is like ridiculous,
man,
and it goes up every single year. I'm like, well, how does it continuously go
up? What improves? What improves?
Nothing.
Exactly.
Exactly. Oh, wait. They'll improve the outsides. Like, we'll put in a park. We'll put in some cornhole sets and a basketball court. That don't benefit me.
No, not at all.
That don't benefit me at all. Like, why don't you get me new carpet or new appliances?
Yeah, exactly.
Or
help me out
walls.
Here. Help me out here,
so I can't hear people.
Yeah. I bet put some more insulation in there. You know what I mean?
Or how about you give me a personalized parking spot so I don't have to park super far away and walk to my apartment.
Oh damn, that's shitty. I've seen a bunch of apartment complexes doing like the numbers for like the apartment numbers.
I mean, I wish. Like, I live on like kind of like a private like drive. And there's only 3 buildings and there's only a selective amount of like spots. But like, for instance, there's maybe 12 apartments in this one building, and there's like 7 or 8 spots out front of our building. But there's like this one person who lives in here. They have 4 cars because there's 4 college
students.
It
shouldn't be allowed.
I'm like, I get home sometimes. I'm like, damn, I gotta carry my groceries from freaking opposite end of the parking lot.
That sucks.
That's just me complaining. That's just me complaining. But I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I swear. But I think it's beautiful how being a father can change someone so drastically. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And you're a great father, and your son is super blessed to have a dad who is one, present. I think that's the biggest thing, is being present in his life, but you're also setting him up for success in the future. Because I think growing up where we grow up from, we see so many different things and we're exposed to so many different walks of life that it makes you want better for whoever it is. Like, I don't have kids, so like a lot of my passion is just feeding back into the community and giving back to our kids, because our kids deserve it. They deserve every opportunity, just like someone else that's in a different neighborhood. Just because we live in a underserved community doesn't mean that they're not worthy. And I think that's the biggest thing, is giving them those opportunities. But you've mentioned real estate and how you've been doing it, but I'm curious to understand, what was that process like, and how did you come to the idea of like, this is what I want to do and this is how I did it? Like, what was that journey like for you?
So I started like looking around and everything like that to like businesses, and like, what could I do for a business? What could I do for this? What could I do for that? Because I always want to be a business owner. I always want to own my own thing. So I'm just looking at like small businesses and things like that, and then like I just come across like real estate, and I'm like, real estate. It's like I never thought about anything with that. And then I started like looking into it, digging deeper into it. And there's so many options, man. There's so many options. Flipping houses, buying houses to rent, being the actual realtor, doing like wholesale things and this and that, a bunch of different stuff that, could get you sued for a lot of money that I'm not going to ever do. But there's just a bunch of stuff, and there's so much opportunity in real estate that like I've looked real deep into it. And then obviously people see, the big numbers. They say like, oh, this is $1 million real estate agent, this and that. I want to be like him. It shouldn't be that hard. All you gotta do is put a sign in somebody's front yard. Like, no, that's not it at all. I did my fair due diligences on wanting to see what it's really like. And there was a podcast I listened to for probably about 3 months before I even jumped into doing it. Because I mean, it's cheaper than going to college. I paid $1,800 to do my classes, and
Must be nice.
So not to say nothing crazy, but I paid $1,800, and it's the podcast really like puts it into your mind, like, because like, dang, they do this, they do that. So it's a lot of stuff that they have to do. It's a lot of stuff that you have to do to get leads in general. And I was like, you know what, with the person that I am, because like I can literally go to a restaurant, go to a bar, and I can sit down by myself, and I can at a bar, and like at the bar, at a restaurant, whatever, I can sit down by myself, and I will turn to my left or my right, and I will have a conversation with this person. I'll have a conversation with that person. I don't care who you are, like, yeah, like I don't care who you are. I'll sit there and I will talk to you about anything. I'll see something that, that I see on your plate that I like, or I see what kind of drink you got, or, just simply, how's your day going? How many times are you asking a day, how's your day going? So a lot of people don't get that. And then you could be like, you could take somebody away with just that simple quote right there. It's, how's your day's going? You know what I mean? So, doing that and everything is, like, I just like jumped right into it after that. And ever since I've been doing it, like, I was like, this is what I was meant to do, was to do this. And it's, not like flying color success, but I'm still building at my success. And, I'm an Ohio agent, and next week I take my Kentucky State test to where I'll be licensed in Kentucky after I pass that. So I'll be in 2 states. I'll be in Kentucky and Ohio, and then being in Kentucky, where I'm bred from and everything like that, I think I'll get the flying colors that I want. So I feel good about it, and I'm pretty excited for it and everything like that. But I've done a lot of things. As you can see, every day I'm posting on Facebook. I'm promoting myself all the time, sending stuff out, doing this, going to go shake hands, kiss babies, everything like that. So
that's the thing about business owning. It's like the consistency is so important. And I think the visibility is just as important, because you can be consistent, but if you're not being visible, it goes a long way. And I think a lot of people don't understand, as an entrepreneur, word of mouth goes a long way. Like, a long way. Even
referrals,
if it's just
definitely
like
helps.
100%. And you notice it when it's just like, hey, like, so-and-so told me to do this. And I had someone reach out to me today and was like, don't even know who they are, right? They were just like, hey, so-and-so told me about your podcast and I was curious about being a guest. And I was like, these are the things, because finding guests for this podcast, it might seem easy, but it's actually kind of hard, because like there's some people, because I have to vet a lot of things, because there's some people where like, I remember I had a call with someone because like someone was like, this person should be on your podcast. I was like, solid. So I set up like a little introduction call with them, and we did not vibe at all. And I think that's the thing is like, you know what I mean? Like if we're not vibing, like this is not going to be a good podcast. So like we had that 15-minute call, like consultation like thing. And I messaged him the next day. I emailed him and I said, hey man, like I just don't think like it's the right time.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, man. I'm not selling everybody's houses, you know what I mean? If you're an asshole to me, I'm not gonna walk back in your house, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just, and he just had too many stipulations. He was like, oh, like I don't want this to happen, and trying to tell me how I'm supposed to like run my podcast. And I was like, you reached out to me. Oh my
goodness.
Like you reached out to me and you're trying to demand me to do certain things for you. What? No. This is not how this works.
That's insane.
It was just crazy to me. And I think it's interesting that you went into real estate, because I think a lot of people just think real estate is selling houses.
People sit here and tell me, they'll be like, it's easy, right? All you gotta do is stick your name in somebody's front yard and somebody's gonna buy it. It's just like, no, it's not that easy at all. Like I pay money,
inspections and all
I pay money. Like if I'm selling your house, I'm paying money for the pictures to get done. I'm promoting your stuff. I'm marketing the hell out of your house just so I can get it sold. All because you have a sign in your front yard. For sale by owners, all because they have a sign in their front yard. People don't buy that stuff. They literally sit there for months and months because they're not doing any marketing on it. Where do people go to find their houses? They go on realtor.com, Facebook, or Zillow. And Zillow is the only company that has actually a for sale by owner part of their website, which, you know, kudos to them for doing that. But I'm doing my due diligence and I'm calling every single one of them. You know what I mean? So
that's just wild to me, because when I think of real estate, I obviously think of like the selling houses and things of that nature. But me being the business person I am, I think of like commercial, like real estate and selling and leasing like properties for businesses and things of that nature. And there's so much that goes in. It is.
Yeah, it's a totally different beast. Yeah.
But it's something that like is like interesting to me. I'm not saying I'll ever do it, but it's interesting.
Well, that stuff, like I said, like, you know, there's so much things that I can get into being in real estate. There's so many things I can get into, and it'll definitely like sky's the limit on what amount of money I can make too. You know what I mean? And I can make 30 grand one year and I can make 150,000 the next year. You never know. You know what I mean? So that's the golden part of it. But then you do got them months to where you don't have nothing going on, you know, and that's that's where you have to budget your money and figure out what you're actually going to do with your side hustles and everything like that to get you to where you need to be stable.
There's that discipline.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
Discipline with money is a different type of discipline, because your boy struggles. I'll be saying
it's hard.
I'm telling you, you see this hoodie I'm wearing, right? I got off TikTok. I bought 4 of these things.
Not
four
smart.
4 different colors. It was $7.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say something wild like $30 each. I was terrible choice.
$7. It's nice, it's comfortable, but that's the thing. Those $7 add up.
yeah, definitely.
But I got the first one, and I was like, I need another one.
The thing with me, man, is like I got so many accounts set up for my future. Like I don't even see my money for real. I ain't got money to spend like that. Like every week I have so much money going into like 10 different accounts. Like I have so much money going out.
That's so smart though. I think that's the thing. I'm trying to be better at saving my money.
Yeah.
Keyword trying.
It's hard.
Better.
And you know what's the easy thing about saving money is that you have the money there and you're like, I can just transfer it by a click of a button. That's how easy it is. That's why you're mad at it. Look at that face. That's why you're mad at
it. I do it all the time. Where I'm just like, let me just transfer some money over.
You can put a lock on your account. You can put a lock on your account to where you can get it up.
Here's my thing. No. I got a thing that I'm trying to save more cash, if that makes sense.
Right.
Putting it in a secure place. Because if it's digital and I can just transfer it, I'm gonna spend it. If it's cash, that means I gotta actually go to the store, get the money.
You know what I did? What I had to do to hide cash for myself, if I needed it to do that, because I had to do that at one point. I gave it to somebody who I trusted, like my brother. I would give him money, to be like, here, hold on to this. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, let me get that money back. Let me get that money back. And then after a couple months of doing that, you go back and you have more money than you thought you had. At least that's what I did. I'd be like, oh, damn, I thought I gave you $100, not $500. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it definitely helps out with that. If you know somebody who's trustworthy enough for you to do that.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that I do. That's the stuff that I do. I do that kind of stuff also. It helps me out. So
I think these next few months are going to be crucial for me. Because I'm moving.
Okay.
And one of my friends is going to stay with me for 4 months because her lease is up and she's moving in August to go to school. So it's she's not going to be in town. So for 4 months, I'll be splitting the rent so I can save a couple $100. So I'm let's see how smart I actually am.
Heck yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But definitely. I kind of want to go into this next segment here. It's my favorite segment of the entire podcast. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big mental health advocate, and any chance that I get to talk about it, I'm going to. So my question for you, Dustin, is just how have you been taking care of yourself mentally?
So what I do every morning is I do 6 gratitudes, and I do 28 of the same affirmation every single day. Just to get my mindset calm, get me motivated, and get me going for the day. That's my morning mental health of that is gratitudes and affirmations. Man, they go a long way, especially repeating the same ones. If you go scatterbrain and you do several of them, you're not going to be able to stick with that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to be happy today. I'm going to be sad. You know what I mean? You get scatterbrained and you just start going off and off and off. So if you stick with the same ones every day, and you can even Google it. That's what I did. It's no embarrassing part about it, is Google what and see what you could do, see what fits you best. And you're on your own personal time. Nobody's around mm-hmm. you. You're in your bedroom by yourself. Who's going to judge you other than yourself? And that's just dumb for you to judge yourself and be like, somebody's going to make fun of me when nobody's ever going to see it, So that, and then I've been slowly starting to get back into working out. Needed to do that for a while now. Just get that sweat in and everything like that. Love the sauna. Love sitting in the sauna. Been a struggle getting in the gym because just time management and things lately have been terrible.
Trust me.
Yeah. So I got a treadmill in my garage. Been running on that a little bit to get me going. It's just so cold. It's so cold to get in there and get in the garage and run on that thing. But that's really much the main things. And eating healthy, not mm-hmm. eating all the processed foods and everything like that. Going back to eating a lot of vegetables and fruits have really helped me a lot. Tried the carnivore diet for a little bit. That was fun. I don't think I did it long enough to see any effects. But it was fun to do that for a little bit, but just in different things here and there, listening to podcasts, of a motivational podcast and everything like that, are really good to do. And I actually have an app called, Motivation app on my phone. Yeah. So that definitely helps out, with that. So that's what I've been doing, for my mental health is just little things like that. So
it's the little things. And I think the affirmations and that goes a long way. I personally don't do them But I know other people who do, and I know it works for some people and it works for others it doesn't. But it's interesting how everyone does things differently, especially when it comes to like their mental health. I always used to, I need to start doing it again, but I used to do like micro wins for the day, right?
Yeah.
Where,
Yeah.
and I would pick 3 tasks like for micro wins where it could be simple as like, oh, brush your teeth, go on a run, and drink 4 bottles of water.
Yep.
And if I
Yep.
did those 3 things for that day is a win for me.
Yeah.
And it's just trying to find little things throughout your life to kind of focus on, because I feel like it's so easy for us to get caught up in the bad.
The bigger
So
picture.
easy. Yeah,
The
it's
bigger
so
picture.
easy to get lost, because we think, oh, this is terrible, my life is ending and I just don't see a way out. But it's like, if we, like I said earlier, if we take a step back to actually pause, like that has stuck with me for this last 4 weeks. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had a colleague commit suicide, and when I
Sorry
was
to hear that.
talking to, it's okay, it's been a journey to kind of deal with the emotions, but when I talked to my mentor and like I was like hysterically crying, he like, everyone, it's so easy to think like life continues, right? How do we move forward when everything seems like it's crashing down? And he was like, Austin, like, it's okay to pause. It's okay to take a
Exactly.
step
Yeah.
back and feel what you need to feel, process what you need to process. And when he said that, I was like, damn, like, you're right. Because we get in like panic mode where we're like, okay, like, how do we move forward, instead of processing what we're actually feeling and what we're actually going through. And I've been telling people for the last 4 weeks, because the last 4 weeks for me have been literally insane, with the things that happened in Covington with the shooting, then that, then another shooting, and then just another. It's just
Yeah,
like one
man.
thing after
Yeah.
another. I'm like, dude, like, this is so heavy and so much. I was like, I need to just take a step back and focus
Yeah.
on myself. And
Yeah.
when you do that, I think it's important. And like you said, like, you not only do your affirmations, but you're starting to work out again, and you're eating healthier, and again, you're having discipline. I think that's the biggest thing you've like talked about a lot today, is just being disciplined in everything that you do. And that's really the hardest thing sometimes for people, is being disciplined. And a lot
For
of people
sure.
don't realize is to form good habits, or to form any habit, you have to do it for at least 21 days. Because
Yes.
it's easy to start something, but to continue doing it, that's the hardest part.
Yeah, and
Starting
that's the
is
little
hard,
things. Yeah.
continuing is hard, but once you're in that like system, because people tell me all the time about working out, we sit here and make an excuse if we don't have time, but we're not making the time
Man, that
for
couch
that.
looks comfy. Man,
You know
that
what I
couch looks
mean?
comfy.
And I'm the person where I'm like, I'm gonna have to either start working out in the mornings, because by the time I get off work, I'm exhausted and I don't have the energy to go work out for an hour and a half. Whereas like, if I wake up and I go to the gym and I get my day started that way, it has helped. But for me, it's just being consistent. That's the
Yeah.
hardest part.
Like the discipline didn't just come overnight. You know what I mean? Even all because I ran about sports and everything like that. I was disciplined in sports, most definitely. But once you get out of the rhythm of doing that every single day of your life, you get out of it. And I didn't have discipline for a long time, and I had to get back into it, especially for being an entrepreneur and everything like that. You just have to do it, and or else you're just going to fail. And that's the biggest thing for me, was to get that back. And my little things, I mean, I was doing just making my bed every morning. I have a calendar that sits right there next to my door before I walk out. I have a vision board right next to my door before I walk out of my bedroom. So I have all those 3 things that I would do every single day. Just 3 little things every day. Every day I'd make my bed, and then, you look at your calendar right before you walk out the door, and either you make a correction to it or you don't do nothing to it. All you did was just look at it. You know what I mean? And that was the thing, is in the vision board, obviously it doesn't change. It stays there unless you have a different vision. And you just do that. I made my bed, and I did 2 looks. I literally did 3 looks. I did 1 movement, 3 looks, and I was done for my habit for the morning. And I did that consistently for 3 months straight, and still do it. Not saying that I didn't do it, but that's when
Yeah.
that's when I changed on what I wanted to do next. And I haven't been doing things that long to where I can do something different. But I wanted to do it longer than the 21 days or the 26 days, whatever it is. I wanted to do it longer than that, just so I could keep it to myself that I'm going to do this every single day. So that was my biggest thing on getting me started on getting my life set up the way I wanted it and doing everything like that. So
with repetition comes easiness. Probably don't even, it's probably not even a second thought for you now.
It's really
because
not.
It's just, this is what I do. I do this every single morning. And are you like one of those believers that there's people out there who believe that if you have a made bed, your day is going to be, everything is just going to be great?
That's what I've heard. But then I've also heard people, I'm not that believer. But I've also heard people say, like, not making your bed is a good thing too, because all the dust mites fly away if you don't make your bed. So I got freaked out a little bit when somebody told me that. I was like, oh, that's nasty. You know what I mean? But you just wash the sheets, I guess, you know what I'm saying? But no, I feel like doing it makes you a more productive person. That's my belief on it. It's a productive person. Not that my day is going to be glorious, because I could just make my bed and I walk outside and I just got hit by a bus. I'm like, damn, I made my bed. What the hell? So I don't think it's like that, but it definitely makes you a more productive person in my eyes.
I mean, sure. You get up and start working. Like, jeez.
Yeah, you get up and you start doing stuff.
I make my bed like sometimes. I'll say that. I think it's because like for me, I work from home a lot. So it's like one of those things where I just chill in the bed, and sometimes like I get out of bed and I'm just going to go sit on the couch. And then once I'm done with my work day, I go right back to my bed.
Right. Yeah.
It's like, why am I making this if I'm just going to get back in it? Like, it don't make sense to me.
Yeah, definitely makes sense. I definitely get it. For sure.
Nah, but I just wanted to say thank you for taking the time out of your day. I know we've been trying to figure this out for a few weeks now, but life be life.
These illnesses has been crazy. These illnesses with these kids have been crazy.
Life be life. That's what I tell people. Life be life.
Yes, sir.
We had it, and I really, really enjoyed the conversation. I've enjoyed catching up and kind of seeing what you've been up to. But if anyone wants to continue having a conversation with you about anything that we talked about today, or if someone is just simply interested in buying a house or hitting you up about real estate, what would be the best way for them to get a hold of you?
You can reach my number, 859-547-2662. It's the best way of contacting me. You can hit me up on Facebook, Dustin Poe, and then I got my business account, Dustin Poe, Realtor. So I got all three of those. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me, for sure.
I will make sure.
Phone's number one. Phone's number one. Call me.
That's different. Don't call me. I'm kidding.
Call me.
Someone
call Even me if today. You don't want to call me, tell your friends to call me. I want everybody to call me.
For sure. That's the thing. People are like, can I call you? I'm like, what do you need? Like, is it one of my biggest pet peeves is I hate when people call me when it could have simply just been a text message.
I'd rather people call me. I hate talking to spam people. But
you have your like personality, like you're an extrovert, so I can understand that. With me being an introvert, I'm like, if it don't require a phone conversation,
why couldn't you just text me? People do that to me all the time. I will call somebody. I'll call somebody. They'll hang up on me and text me, "What's up?" I'm like, "Oh my god."
Nah, I won't do that. I won't do that. But like I'm saying, like if someone calls me and they're like, "Hey, did you do this?" You could have just texted me. If it is not a legit emergency, just text me. I'll get to it when I get to it. That's how I feel it.
I feel it.
Nah, but I just want to say, man, thank you again, just for taking the time out of your day.
Thank you for having me on here. For sure.
I appreciate it. And I want to say thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to put all of Dustin's information in the description below. If you all happen to reach out to him, please just make sure you notate on how you found him. It'll be greatly appreciated. And do not forget, make sure you give us a follow on all social media platforms. It's at Ignyte Your Y. That's INGYTE, not with an I. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, you name it, we are there. So make sure you give us a follow. And if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe so you get notified every time we drop a new episode. Again, thank you all for tuning in. And always remember, find your purpose, ignite your why, and I'll holler at you guys later. Peace.